Hello everyone, Mark Houlihan here for Speedway Motors. We are day one of the 2022 SEMA show. We are here in our booth in the Hot Rod Alley. 22985 is the booth number. We got a ton of new products in the booth. We even have one of our project cars here. It's a 68 C10 short bed. It's our Project C10. We put a 4.8 LS in it. BTR Chuck Norris cam, bunch of goodies that makes 430 horsepower. Our new LS cross member, LS engine mounts, True Ram manifolds. It's got a ton of goodies all the way out to our famous 9-inch rear. We got some great displays in the booth. This one has our new 12-circuit cloth-wrapped vintage look wiring harness, our 12-volt USB port, and our universal rear sway bar. Up top, we have our new wheel simulator. So we have a great new product here, our 3-in-1 digital gauge. It gives you the volts, temp, and oil pressure of a triple gauge setup in one. Our new flush mount LED lights, our advanced design Chevy Truck Series 15-inch steering wheel. The original is 18. And we have our second gen C10 LS mount bracket kit. Also in our booth, we have this beautiful 36 Willys. It runs a early Hemi with a 727 Torque Flight trans. It has our suspension on it with our AFCO brand shocks. And believe it or not, these are original Halabrand magnesium wheels that it's rolling on. Continuing on with our new products, we have a bunch of LS parts here. BTR Chuck Norris cam, that's a great cam for those LS swaps. Speaking of LS swaps, our LS swap fuel filter and pressure regulator, that's an award-winning product of ours. And a whole bunch of other great pieces here, including valley plate and electric cutouts. Up top, we have our new LS mock-up block. This piece here is great for those of you putting an LS in something where it was never factory. It has all of the mounting points for transmission, engine mount, front cover, valve covers, intake. You can get it in a long block setup like this, or a short block, and the short block will accept factory heads. On the back side here, a few more LS goodies, including our block-off kit, Tri-5 Chevy mounts, oil pan, and smooth look valve covers. And last, certainly not least, if you circle track guys need an engine sling to pull that engine out without damaging your induction, we have this great 4-point sling. We also offer it in a 2-point configuration, and they're both capable of supporting 1,200 pounds of capacity. So you've seen all our great new stuff. Let's go check out the rest of the show. We happen to come across this beautiful 33 Ford here at the SEMA show. We wanted to give you guys a quick look at it. It's got a drop axle with both split and drilled wishbones on it. It's running a Corvette LS6 with stack injection, typical 9-inch Ford rear. But one of the most intriguing parts is not only the awesome paint, but this beautiful interior with a cowhide theme. So we didn't have to go far to find this beauty. It's in the Phi-Tech booth right across from Speedway Motors. And this 57 Chevy Bel Air is just drop dead gorgeous. From the paint to the interior to what's under the hood, this Pace Performance LSX 376 crate engine is powered by Phi-Tech's LS conversion harness. It makes swapping an LS easy, keeping all the EFI. We've got an unreal leather interior with custom pleating, Dakota digital gauges, and probably one of the most trickiest things we've seen in a while is this custom ambient lighting that runs from the kick panel all the way to the back of the car and along the console. On the outside, you may notice the flush fit glass and shaved drip rails that gives the car a little bit of a modern look without ruining the classic looks of a Tri-5 Chevy. All these SEMA vehicles are normally test beds for new products that debut at the SEMA show. In the case of this classic Mustang, Eddie Motorsports used it to come out with a ton of billet pieces for the first generation Mustang market. We've got fender bolts, hood hinges, these valve covers, everything you see in red is pretty much new from Eddie Motorsports. It's got a 331 stroker small block Ford with TCI suspension and Willwood brakes, so we know the car goes fast and stops fast as well. Inside, It's a custom interior. You'll notice not only the steering wheel, but also the exterior door handles and the window cranks and inside door handles are all new parts from Eddy Motorsports. And so our last vehicle for day one of the 2022 SEMA show is this beautiful 67 C10 in the TMI products booth. It's powered by Holley EFI LS. And obviously, as you can see, it's sitting on air. We really dig the custom paint and the copper touches. But most importantly, for TMI, obviously, is the custom interior. And if you take a look, that's obviously not a 67 C10 dash. That's an early Suburban dash that's been retrofitted. And then what would a Slam C10 be without a custom wood bed with copper strips instead of chrome strips to match the wheels? It's an unbelievable vehicle, and there's a lot more to see, and we're going to be bringing it to you all week. Mark Houlihan here for Speedway Motors. It's day two of the 2022 SEMA show. As you can see behind me, huge halls. We got a lot of ground to cover. Let's go find some cool stuff. So the very first stop on day two is the Mother's booth, where we spotted the 2022 Riddler winning 1931 Chevy nicknamed the Showbird. This car is unbelievable from front to back. We can only imagine the amount of hours put into this car. It has a 509 cubic inch W series engine that's fed by two, not one, but two 72 millimeter turbos. You can see the paint here is PPG Vibrance Wineberry. Under the lights, you go from a light to dark, and probably one of the trickiest things is the airbrush Chevy bow ties and the body contour. It's a little very subtle, but what's not so subtle is the cutouts in the rear fender that cover those massive Mickey Thompson tires. Those are 33 by 20 tires on the back, and I'm sure with this kind of power, it uses every inch of the rubber. Speaking of out back, it's got a 9-inch Ford, of course, and there's a 6L80 transmission that sends power to that 9-inch. All right, so the SEMA show isn't all just about cool cars, it's obviously about cool parts too. We're here at the Blueprint Engines booth. They got a bunch of new engines for us this year that you're gonna see at Speedway Motors real soon, including this small block Ford with their own block casting. It's getting harder to find engine blocks these days, so they went ahead and casted up their own. Up next, this over 1,000 horsepower, 632 cubic inch big block Chevy, ready for race or show. And last but certainly not least, the hot thing on the market right now, Gen 3 Hemis. This is a Gen 3 Hemi supercharged crate package. It includes the trans, clutch, bell housing, starter, everything all assembled in the crate, ready to go. All you have to do is hook up your cherry picker and drop it into your ride. This Ring Brothers Mustang just stopped us in our tracks. Ring Brothers have been around quite a while. They're really well known, but they got their start building Mustangs, and apparently, looking at this, they still got it. Ring Brothers names every one of their cars, and this one's called the Patriarch. Powered by a Ford Performance Illuminator 5.2, which is backed by a Tremec T56 Trans. This thing has the power to back it up. You'll see that's built on a custom Roadster shop chassis and running HRE wheels with bare brakes. The custom interior has the vintage look of the 69 Mustang dash, but obviously with a modern Ring Brothers flair to it. It's wired by Painless, and you can see all the factory chrome has been pretty much blacked out except for the bumpers. The Ring Brothers use subtle carbon fiber touches on all their cars. You can see the quarter panel scoops and the taillight panel are completely made out of carbon fiber. So rounding out our day two booth visits, we decided to stop here at HRIA and ARMO. And the one that really caught our eye is this beautiful 85 IROC-Z. Back in the day, your typical IROC or Pontiac Firebird, or even the Fox Mustang, wasn't much of a player on the street. They were great cars for the time, but they didn't have all the power that they really needed to be king of the street, so to speak. Well, times have changed. The third gen Camaro, third gen Firebird, and Fox Mustangs are now very highly sought after cars that are being built and built very well. Just like this car that's now running a Don Hardy Racing 440 LSX that's backed by a 4L80 trans. You'll see a lot of subtle touches on the car, including some carbon fiber accents, both interior and exterior. Speaking of interior, it's got a beautiful leather interior, custom stitched, a little bit of carbon fiber on the console. Has multi-piece wheels, which is the hot trend right now, as well as a beautiful looking carbon fibered rear diffuser with center exit exhaust. When was the last time you saw a third gen F-body with center exit exhaust? It's just a really, really sweet looking ride. So we've had a great day 2. Be sure and come back tomorrow to see what we got in store for you on day 3. Hello everyone, Mark Houlihan here for Speedway Motors. It's day 3 of the 2022 SEMA show. We've just been blown away by what we've seen this week, and the hits continue to come here on day 3, just like this spec Vette from Heartland Customs that we spotted. If you're looking for the classic looks of an early Vette, but you want all the modern performance, handling, and comfort of a new Vette, then this is what you want to be driving. Powered by a modern Corvette LS engine backed with a 6-speed, modern suspension under it, nice disc brakes all around, even has these knockoff wheels, or simulated knockoff wheels if you will, with modern performance rubber with white wall tires that give it that period look, but with all the handling, braking, and performance you'd want. So when it comes to SEMA, you see all manner of vehicles. Obviously lots of performance cars, muscle cars, but probably one of the hottest things out right now are vehicles like vans and station wagons. This is probably the coolest van you're ever gonna see right here. This 69 Dodge A108, built by Goolsby Customs. They call it the Vantasy. It's powered by a Mopar Performance 6.4 liter Hemi, and it's riding on a Roadster shop fast track chassis. It's a one-off chassis they built just for this, and those beautiful looking wheels are Billet Specialties 18.9 and 1912 smoothies. The hubcaps, headlight bezels, the trim on the car, everything is custom machined. They even made these really trick pop-out windows. The bumpers have been smoothed and tucked, and obviously it has a custom leather interior, because what SEMA car wouldn't have an interior like this to draw the crowds? So we made it over to the North Hall on day 3, which is primarily car audio and electronics, and we spotted this gorgeous 66 Mustang in the Sony booth. What really stopped us in our tracks is the tucked in bumpers, molded bodywork, and even the LED lighting. They have custom side marker lights and all sorts of great things on it. And obviously the Coyote V8 under hood is no slouch either. That's backed by a 6R80 6-speed automatic transmission, and stopping the car are his bare brakes, wrapped in forged line wheels and Toyo rubber, all that sitting on a Roadster shop chassis. But when we get to the interior is breathtaking in itself. You've got a very Mustang looking interior with the standard 5-dial cluster now rocking Dakota digital gauges. Where the factory audio would be is now the Vintage Air AC controls, and it has the latest Sony 10-inch monitor in it. You'll see the custom leather interior, but what really, if we step back, what really jumps out is this hydraulic fastback roofline. This is actually a 66 Mustang convertible, and they have this hydraulic lifted fastback body that allows you to see the 12-inch subwoofers and just really make the interior pop. It is removable, so if they want to ride around as a Roadster, they can do that too. In just a couple of minutes, the top is off and it's ready to roll. So we made it over to the Battle of the Builders section here on day 3. We're down to the top 12 cars, and of those 12, one of them that really tripped our trigger is this 66 Nova. You take a look under the hood, it's running an LS3 with a Brian Tooley Racing cam and a 2.9 liter Whipple supercharger. You know this thing moves out. You'll see the firewall has been shaved, as well as the cowl panel. And moving down the side of the car, this beautiful blue paint is also rocking shaved door handles. Inside is a custom TMI upholstery. One of the most interesting things on the inside though, you'll see that dash, that's not a Nova dash, that's a 59 Impala dash that they worked into the car and just melded in beautifully. The car is sitting on Rushforth wheels with a burnt bronze Cerakote center. and the whole car is riding on air, and the air system was actually hard-lined. So we have this beautiful plumbing in the trunk area that just knocks us out. All right, that does it for us for day 3 at the SEMA show. We hope you enjoyed a little look inside the show, and we'll see you soon.